You've got a lot of choices, my friends. The Kentucky Derby is that day. So, too, the NBA playoffs. Oh, yeah, the NHL playoffs. They're going on, too. There's also a Yankees-Red Sox game, and if you hate them, maybe a Cardinals-Pirates or Angels-Giants matchup will interest you. It's all on that same day. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. There is something else happening that day. Boxers Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. They are finally squaring off in Las Vegas. Now, the difference with these guys is you can't catch them on free TV. Try $100 to catch them on pay-per-view, $10 more if you want to see them in HD. Don't ask. Which still beats the $20,000 you'll likely have to pay scalpers to catch these guys duking it out in person at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. That big, that pricey, that unreal for what they are already calling the fight of the century, or to believe even a tenth the hype, the sporting event of any century. Place your bets. I'm betting the hype for this thing has only just started. Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto, and it is on. Signed, sealed, and in little more than 9 weeks, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao are ready to deliver the fight their fans have long wanted, and a reported $200 million purse they themselves probably never thought possible. Not bad for two guys in their late 30s, thought past their prime, but a financial boost for so many others in just the nick of time. Just think about it. There's Las Vegas, right, where they're anticipating the night of the fight. Every single hotel room in the city will be sold out. Then there are pay-per-view providers where they're already predicting every record will be blown out. Then so many boxing legends converging on Sin City that you're going to have a very tough time even sorting them out. But why bother? Because three of the best, and I mean the best, are already here and only here. Boxing legends all, including former heavyweight champs Evander Holyfield and Larry Holmes, and former light heavyweight champion Bernard Hopkins, actually the oldest champion in the history of any sport. Gentlemen, welcome to all of you. Bernard, I ended with you. I want to begin with you. When you look at this purse, and I know you're eyeing maybe one more fight yourself, still 50 years young, you say, wow, get me in on that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is one of those fights that boxing, I believe, needed in a long time. Since the heavyweight division has somewhat been non-existent in the world, or the conversation in barbershops and restaurants and bars, this is really big. I mean, you know, this is a big enough hype and fight to justify those numbers that's been estimated. I mean, hotels, when people are buzzing. I'm here in Philadelphia, what I call the fight city of the world. They are excited, and we still got 9-10 weeks left. So right. I'm looking for this to break a lot of records, but mostly important that the fight really pan up to be what it's going to be hyped as, and that is a really, really good, exciting fight, and to be able to cap off and get people interested in the next big fight whenever that comes in 2015.
That could be you, but we'll get into that in a second. You know, Larry and Evander, in your case, you moved up from light heavyweight to heavyweight and started this trend to multiple division champions, touche to you. But do you guys ever, and Larry, I'll raise this with you, look at this in a field where I think they're about 147 pounds. Larry, that's your arm. And do you ever say, my God, why didn't I get those kind of, pay deals when I was fighting?
Well, for one thing, I realize time do change, and sometimes it change for the best. And I wish I was probably in this time now, because I think I could have ruled the heavyweight division. But boxing is growing because everything else is growing. So therefore, boxing have to grow. Mayweather, he created this money-making machine that he's now in. He created it by talking, making people like him, making people love him. I mean, it's going to be an exciting fight. And I tell you, I'm so happy that this fight is coming up and they got a date so I can stop talking about it. But meanwhile, I got to pay my $100 to go see it, because I don't think I'm going to go into Vegas.
If you have to pay $100 to see this, there's an injustice there. If any of you do. But Evander, when you look at this, and what Larry was saying, and really Bernard touched on it as well, that these are bigger than life characters, particularly when it comes to Mayweather. The reason why he's getting a 60-40 split of this purse is he's the guy, we're told. He's the undefeated guy, but he's also the charismatic guy. Now you just let your punching do your talking in those days, but everyone, and you all have seen this, and Larry, you've heard this, that that Muhammad Ali was the standard, and in your face, loudmouth, controversial, but that was the standard. Do you think, Evander, when you see this, that maybe you should have done more of that, and you might have seen more of these type of purses?
No, I think that it has something to do with the ability that both fighters have.
Right.
It's such a great fight. When you got Floyd and you got the opposite end of it, this guy take chances. So people pay for things they don't know, and in this fight, anything could happen because they style just that much different.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Bernard. When I look at this and I look at your own longevity, I mean, you have been a very, very consequential figure in boxing now for decades. And you must look at this and must think, all right, well, obviously there's still interest in boxing, to your point, maybe not as much in the heavyweight division, but clearly enough on a pay-per-view basis to warrant staying in the ring. Outside of guys like you, can that be a dangerous thing, though? Can people outstay their welcome?
Well, I think...
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Bernard first. Bernard first, and I'll get to you guys. Go ahead.
I think...
Well,
Bernard, and then Evander, I promise I'll get to you.
Well, who's that?
Okay,
who's that, Larry or Evander? Because both of those guys are heavyweights, so I'll shut up and let them talk because they're bigger than me.
Well, Bernard, to you, I mean, you're still sticking around. You're not, retiring around this talk of one more fight. But do you look at this, and is the money a factor here when you look at the eye-pop big pay-per-view packages and say, well, boy, I've got one more big fight in me, even if it's not going to be any close to this sum, man, it's worth sticking around for one more fight?
Well, I think if a person is honest with himself, that he knows whether he can, be productive and also be a winner, and also what he's boxing for. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons and situations that fighters are in. Some are good, some are not so good. In my case, I just believe that, doing things my own way and not being accustomed or ever been thinking in my mind that I have to do something because majority of people think that's the way I should go. Now, not saying that they're wrong or right, but I like to prove them wrong more than right. And so when you have that mentality, they look at 50, as a bad number. I look at 50 as a great number. It depends on who you are and what you've done early on in life to be able to be that athlete that can be able to do things different than any other athlete ever done, especially in boxing. But listen, this fight here is one of those fights where, it's not like a clear cut that Pacquiao's going to win, and it's not a clear cut that Mayweather's going to win. And that's the excitement that, my legends that's on this air talking, Larry Holmes and Evander Holyfield, they understand. I mean, they fought the best in their division. They fought the best.
They most certainly
Evander
did.
fought the best at light heavyweight. They fought the best, and I believe I fought the best in my division. And every time you get those type of matchups, I mean, in boxing, this is our Super Bowl. I repeat, this is our Super Bowl.
But here's what I don't understand, guys, and Larry, maybe you can help me with this. I could see Mayweather and all. Pacquiao has 5 losses. He has 2 draws. I'm not minimizing his record or what he's attained, but are we overhyping it? Are we overstating it? And I know this has been about that people have been looking for years, but are they past their prime, and are we making something that really isn't there? I mean, people are going to pay it, to your point, but is this much about nothing? What do you think, Larry?
Well, you don't know when you pass your prime. Like when I quit boxing, I was 52 years old, and I felt that I still can go on. But with the people pressuring me, saying you shouldn't keep going, you'll make me quit. But I still feel, and even to this day, I still feel like that I can go in the ring and stand in there with the best of them.
Well, I've seen the heavyweight contenders. You could. But Evander, when you look around, Evander, do you take a look at the same landscape and wonder, boy, it used to be the heavyweight division that got all that attention. That was one big reason you moved up from a light heavyweight. And you've seen it change completely and go in reverse. Is the heavyweight division just devoid of big stars, or what do you think?
Well, I actually think that the amateur program is stopping the good big guy, because you have to learn how to box while you're young. And that's how you get the ability to be able to make the adjustments that's necessary to keep going, not just, I'm going to hit a guy with one hard shot and it's going to be over, because you're going to run into a guy who can take the shots. Then it's going to be changing. But I think the game will continue to go if you continue to the techniques and making the guy run, make the guy work hard. There's a lot of guys kind of think, just I'm going to hit you a couple of times and it's going to be over.
Yeah, they think, hey, old man, don't worry, I have nothing to worry about. Then after they get in the ring with you, all of you guys, they start worrying. I was looking, guys, at the 5 biggest boxing matches of all time. Did you know that 2 of them involved Mike Tyson? That was the one with you, Evander, back in June 1997, and Tyson's fight with Lennox Lewis in 2002. Those 2 fights, he made $200 million. And as you know, he was the first athlete, I believe, technically to make $1 billion in the ring. It's all gone. It's all gone. Now, Larry, you were very good very early on at diversifying. You got into real estate, and I think for a while, you virtually owned Easton, Pennsylvania. But early on, you seemed to not trust either managers or owners, or you were very, very leery. Why did you do that? And what would be your recommendation for these guys?
Well, what I did is took what they give me, because they were not giving out anything and taking away everything they can get from you. But what got me going, I don't want to be an independent. I want to be an independent fighter. I want my own stuff. I don't want people to say, you got in the game, now you're out of the game, you ain't got nothing to show for what you got. I want to say I'm still a millionaire. I'm still a multi-millionaire. So I'm hanging in there yet. You know what I mean? But it's kind of hard after a while, especially when you got a lot of people working for you and you're doing a lot of things and trying to do a lot of things, and you invest some money. You need that money.
Right.
I'm glad that Mayweather got some money. I'm glad that Pacquiao got some money, because, they're going to need that money, especially if they're not doing the right thing. I think Mayweather's on the wrong track. If he bought that big $50 million airplane, I don't know.
That's what happens, guys. And then people glom onto you. And Bernard Hopkins says, it happened to you. I mean, you had such a great career, and obviously you've earned so much money. Do you have people who just sort of hang on to you? And Bernard, I need this, and Bernard, I need that. What do you do?
Yeah, first of all, I got a name for those people. They're called bottom feeders. And I love bottom feeders.
Mike Tyson called them friends. He called them friends, but he was duped.
Okay. I got a fish tank in my house, and you got to buy bottom feeders to keep the tank and everything, the waste and everything that falls down. They got these bottom feeders. That's what they eat. They eat everything that's in their sight. But let me tell you, I learned something from boxing a long time ago. And Larry and Holyfield, we all heard this in our career. When the referee brings 2 of the fighters in the center of the ring, and he gives certain rules here and there, and he says, protect yourself at all times. I remember that every day, and every time I spend money, and every time I got somebody trying to whisper in my ear and give me this great advice, protect yourself at all times, period.
And Evander, that's been sort of your whole thing, hasn't it? You got to look after yourself, because all these hangers-on have a way of falling off afterwards, right?
Well, they hang on and they stay on. They don't let you go, especially if they know you got a good heart. And most fighters got a good heart. They think about other people. They think about the things that they had to go through to get to be where they at. And then somebody comes along and asks you for something, and say, this is the last time, you'll give it to them.
But Evander, do you do that? Do you do that? A lot of people give you a sad story. It's all right,
Well, I'm the way that I am, because the way I came up, people gave me. It was a lot given to me. So basically, you have to be able to say no. You learn at some point in time. I have learned from the mistakes. So I know you have to say no sometime.
Yeah, well, gentlemen, you've all done that brilliantly and managed to hang on to your fortunes, and that says a great deal about each and every one of you. Bernard, I look forward to hearing what the next big thing is for you, and Larry and Evander. Who knows with you guys? We'll watch closely.
I might come out of retirement.
All right, well, that'd be something to see. I can maybe put you up against Bill O'Reilly. We can make it a pay-per-view thing. That would be fun.
There we go.
Like a Killing O'Reilly.
I'll pay for it.
All right, guys.
65-year-olds going at it.
There we go. Oh, look at the time. Look at the time. Guys, thank you very much. We'll have much more after this.